Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it. We test it. You play it. And it's time for another Aperture Gaming's review. Today's game that I'm reviewing is called American Hero. Now, this is kind of weird because while the previous game that I reviewed was supposed to be emulating a game from the 1990s, this game actually is from the 1990s. This title has a very interesting history. It was worked on, but then it was abandoned, and then after 30 odd years, give or take, it showed up again and finally got finished. Now, I think the trailer for this last year, and I was trying to find it. It wasn't available on Steam. Now, it was available on a site, GOG.com, goodoldgames.com originally. I was like, oh great, do I have to join another gaming website platform program? But then I found out, much to my surprise, that this was available on the Nintendo Switch. Go figure. Now, I gotta give a bit of a heads up warning that this game, it is very heavily mature. First off, it is a mature title, so please game responsibly. Secondly, so I'm going to show some footage here, hopefully. It's from the actual opening of the game. The game warns how it was made in the 90s, so... Now, showing on the screen is a warning from the people who developed this game. Because here's what, this game was actually started in 1990, and then it was scrapped, and then 30 years later we got it back in, I think, 2021. Now, at the time that the game was made, the game will, as you can see in the description, they said they tried to keep it as authentic as they could to the original source material. And to help explain some scene transitions, they added in the static effect. But another thing that they kept for the original source material was the mannerisms, the attitudes, and things that were said and done by certain people back in the 1990s. This may include, but not be limited to, saying certain discriminations or how people were treated towards each other or acted towards certain people. We here at Aperture Gaming, we here at Channel Pirate Captain Jeff and Aperture Gaming, we do not condone or approve of discrimination against people. So, just to be known that this game is being judged on its merit as a game, not on the commentary for what was presented in the game at the time. This game is, the title is basically shown as a time capsule of sorts of what a game was like back at that period of time. And again, as previously stated, or if not stated yet, it is an M-rated title, so please, game responsibly. Thank you. Series. Like I said, the name of the game is American Hero. Now, while I don't think it's a sequel or prequel or in-between-quel, it is basically, I think this one was designed to be like made as a series of movies/games. Kind of like or at the very least, a whole TV show thing, like, I don't know, the James Bond franchise, or maybe MacGyver, or, just something where the main character would always go up against, like, a very specific villain, or like, I don't know, think like Inspector Gadget going against Dr. Claw, and then whoever Dr. Claw's minions were for that week. So, but not as humorous, but a little more serious. Team. This game was developed by Interactive Productions. Now, it was originally published by Atari Corporation, and then when it was relaunched, various remastered versions. But the one that I'm doing is published by Ziggurat Interactive. Plot. Now, you take the role of a gentleman by the name of Jack Devon, and he was a former military intelligence operative. Now, Jack is doing like the stereotypical former detective-esque sort of shenanigans when he learns that his arch nemesis, Dr. Carl von Kruger, is going to release some sort of virus into Los Angeles and then eventually the world. So, as Jack, your job is to try to once again save the world from this maniac. Gameplay controls. Now, this game is a FMV, a full motion video game. So as in, everything is filmed, like everything is live action. These are, so the people you see on the screen, the locations, everything is real. This is pretty cool. Yeah, so Jack will say or do something, and the movie will go forward, and then you have a choice. Either you have to, you can try to sneak into a place through the front door, you can sneak in by climbing up a building, or going through the back gate. So the options flash on the screen, and you have to hit the A button to select which one. Or, if you are incredibly lazy, you just don't, and the game automatically picks the path of least resistance. But yeah, so that is how this game works. It's like watching a movie, and you get to choose which way the movie goes. And I think that was like maybe one instance where there was actually a quick time event where you had to do the button mash. But that's the majority of the gameplays. It's pretty much very user-friendly with only using one button.
Graphics.
Like I said, the graphics, it's real life. Now, yeah, this was all filmed in the 90s, so while the graphics are not, the best, it is kind of interesting to see, a real-life FMV game feature. Honestly, I think one of the only ones I ever played before this. Okay, so basically, there was a game called Mad Dog McCree, so I use that as a reference. But yeah, for the whole game style format, I'd say think of this game for Mad Dog McCree or Space Ace or Dragon's Lair. But yeah, those last few ones are animated, but yeah, this one's all live action, so it's interesting. Also, I like how instead of it being full screen, they have it on one of those old-fashioned TV/VCR hybrids, and you see cassettes nearby, where it's like, if you want to continue with this route, you put in this video, or if you want to continue with this route, put in this video. And the cool thing is to try to make sure everything is consistent. Sometimes there'll be some fuzziness to be like, oh yeah, this is where in the movie we had some problem with the film, so we had to make it look like this. It's basically just to try to help make some consistency and make sense for how the game looks. And also, if you go, the game has multiple endings and different scenes based on your choices.
Audio.
Yeah, this game definitely looks and sounds like a 90s film. Kind of like, I don't know, The Rocketeer or The Phantom. Anyway, you have the general music. The music base changes up the location or the scene, conveying between just regular something happening or an action scene. And also, well, it's filmed, so the characters sound like they're supposed to. The interesting thing is how the actor who plays Jack, even after 30 years, he came back and he reprised his role to just do some audio parts for parts of the game. So that's pretty interesting. But the audio and the visuals, well, I cover that in a later segment. But overall, the game sounds pretty good.
Multiplayer.
No, there is no multiplayer.
DLC.
No, there is no DLC.
Issues.
Okay, there are a couple of issues with this. So, the video quality is not the best. There is some pixelation. I mean, they did try their hardest to clean it up. I understand it. Now, okay, so like I said, this game had an interesting series in development. I think it was supposed to be a film, and this was supposed to be the tie-in game. Now, what we got is what we got, because the original negatives for this film, I heard, were lost in the fire. So we can't get any more new content. Sure, we got new audio, but we can't get any more new visuals. Speaking of audio, like I said, there's some shots where there's some outside shots, you'll hear a helicopter or a plane going by, and it's like, okay, come on, how many planes and helicopters are going by? But it is in California, and it was the 90s, so I guess there's that excuse. Also, while I was playing some spots, sometimes the audio would cut out. I can't tell if this is just an effect from the game or from its age, I don't know. Also, so the game, you have to make your choices. Now, as you progress through the game, you'll hit a checkpoint. But let's say you hit a checkpoint, and then you make 5 decisions in, and then suddenly, bam, you're dead. It'll start you back at the checkpoint, not the place where you died. So basically, you have to go through those choices again, if you want, and then change the 5th one, or go through a completely different route. So it's a little annoying how that happens. So there are a couple of tech issues here and there. Like I said, for the visuals and to make the game make sense, they have it where it looks like the film has the VHS film corrupt in some spots, just to give an explanation as to why the game film cut to this part of the movie. Yeah, it has a couple of issues here and there, but like I said, I do like the fact that how they got Jack to come back to do some voice work for this.
Buy, rent, or pass.
Alright, so when I got this from the Nintendo shop, I think it was around $14 or $15, so yeah, it's not too bad for a game that's about 30 years old. Sure, it has its issues, and, well, I'd say if you're a fan of some of the old school stuff, give it a try. I mean, like, I bought this. I honestly saw the trailer, like I said, last year, and I thought I'd give it a shot now, so I'd say this game is a buy.
Overall score.
Yeah, so this game, like I said, is rated M for mature. It features content that is definitely not meant for the kids, and like I said, it was filmed about 30 years ago, so I guess the game should be seen, for historical context. I just thought it was interesting because, like I said, the first motion game I played was Mad Dog McCree, and so I cited like some of the other motion games, like I said, Dragon's Lair and Space Ace. Yeah, the problem for me was how like if I screwed up, I couldn't go back to the thing I just screwed up at and pick a different thing. I had to go back, so it'll like be a very long segment or series of segments to get back to the spot where you died. So it is like watching a 90s film. You don't really do too much. You just basically hit the button to select the time when you want to do something. So it's a game, but it's kind of like a game diet, a game light. It would have been cool if we could do more, but hey, this was the most advanced and the most cutting edge technology at the time. So yeah, it's amazing how we've progressed so much. So we here at Aperture Games, we give American Hero, we give it an 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, please make sure you game responsibly, and I hope you watched the warning at the very start of this. Alright, well that's all the time we have for this episode. Until next time, this has been Aperture Gaming. Thank you for watching this review, and until next time, game on, and have a nice day.